I want to go over a couple of different documents that will be made available in the Facebook group. If you're not there, please join so you can get these PDFs. I promise you, I promise you, this will change your life. And the beautiful part about this whole thing is, even with me knowing these rules, I have a community that hopefully you can become a part of if you're not already a part. But one thing that I tell them on the regular basis is, even with me knowing all the rules that I'm about to share with you, when I do two things, when I allow myself to become isolated, or when I fall off of doing the things that are designed for us to do within the parameters of our structure, basically, my results tank. Like, my results tank. Let me tell you all, my results tank. So, selfish plug. If this is honestly for me first, which is what it should be. It should be for us first, so that we can be the best that we can be for other people. So this is for me first, because I have to reset myself. And so the 10-day Daniel challenge is a reset for me, as well as hopefully for you. Hey Sharon, it's good to see you here. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to have you back with us. Let me tell you all, Sharon, oh my gosh, her story is amazing. She was a part of one of my first groups, and the results that she had, outstanding, just amazing. Anyway, so let me get started, because like I said, there's a few documents that I want to go over. This is a refresher for me, and I wrote it. So again, the thing is, and we're going to learn this within these 10 days, how important it is for us not to just think about the food, which is something I never really post about, because the thing that's never really mentioned is that every meal doesn't work for everybody. Everybody's body doesn't digest the same thing. And I don't want you all to go down the path that I went down, where I started to eat what other people ate because they told me, well, that's what we're supposed to eat. Okay, well, let me keep trying this. You know, there was this big kale craving one point in time. Well, let me keep trying this kale, even though my stomach's not digesting it, even though I'm getting bloated now, come to find out that it has no nutritional value, and it actually absorbs nutrition and takes, absorbs nutrition out of your body. So this is why I make a habit of, I'll show people the results so you can see where I've come from and where I've maintained, which took me 23 years to do. At an age where people say that you're not supposed to have these type of results, at an age where people say your metabolism slows down. What I'm teaching y'all is the things that I've learned. Metabolisms do not slow down, but what happens is the damage catches up to you from the things that you've done from, God knows, 2 years old and all the candy up until your 40s, your 50s. If you never address these issues, then you will have the results that the world is telling you that you're going to have. And what makes all this information even so much more beneficial in my mind is that it's biblical. And what I've had this niche to do, and this year I'm really trying to go all in, is showing people what's been working for me is not just all science, but when I see science matches up with God's word, put those two together and they're agreeing, then okay, then they must be right about this. And then those things that I'll try, and then those are the things that will get the results for me, and have gotten the results for many other people. So this stuff is not just about eating, about movement and working out. This is about following the principles that God laid so that we could have the results that we're designed to have. All right. Anyways, it's 5:14. Let me get into this. Are y'all good? Everybody can hear me clear? Everything is straight? And I want to see some movement in the chat too. If you got any questions, I am here for you for the next 10 days. All right, here we go. I got 3 screens over here, y'all. Okay, this mouse got to get over there. All right, let's go. Come on, Nelson. My boy Nelson's in here. Look at that, Nelson. Come on, man. I got the 2 scenes. Yes, sir. So I got the PDF. I got me split. Yes, all good. Anyways. And this is a lot. I got to give myself props because this is a lot of work. Okay, so here we go. Rules of engagement. And the reason why you may see something you think that you've seen before is because I'm constantly updating things. I'm constantly making sure that the information that I'm giving you all is not dated. Okay, so here we go. Rules of engagement. You can see them well. I can tell you can see them. All right, so let's go. Let's get into it. Start with a goal in mind, which is why you're here, hopefully. Start with a goal in mind. What is your goal? 2025, 2026, it'll work itself out. But you have to think right now, what am I trying to do in 2025, which then gives me the blueprint of what I need to do now to get to that. When I first started this journey, my goal had nothing to do with losing weight because my culture told me that I was just fine. I prayed and I asked God for more energy as I was getting older. I found myself becoming weak, falling asleep at restaurant tables, overeating, just doing the most. And then when I prayed that prayer, I actually did the work. I started to move. And so it wasn't just like, Lord, I need more energy. Like, give me some more energy. No, what do I have to do? When I actually said, what do I have to do? That's what activated the faith. And I started to learn so many different things. And as I began to go after energy, the weight started to fall off. It's kind of a like, duh, at the end of the day, like, of course, you're losing things that are weighing you down, but it never hit me that this was about weight. My goal was that I needed more energy. So please make sure if you're a part of this, that you have the right mindset. Your goal. That's why the first 5 days are about mindset. Let me tell you, the best results that I have ever had, and when I even still get those results, it's when my mindset is correct. When my mindset is right, everything works itself out. And again, we're going to learn that within these 10 days. And science is now backing God. They don't want to give them credit, but they're starting to show how the way we think, the situations that we're involved in, our surroundings, the stress, our community, where they are will be the measuring stick of where we'll end up or where we'll be. Okay. So anyways, here we go. Start with a goal in mind. Every successful journey begins with a clear destination. Your goals aren't just endpoints, people. They're the compass that guides every decision, every action, and every choice you make along the way. Sounds like pressure, huh? Pressure of being adults, right? From thoughts to reality, right? Writing down your goals transforms them from mere wishes into tangible objectives. Faith. This simple act demonstrates both intention and faith in your journey, okay? All right, let's go. The cost, here we go. The cost of uncertainty. When you leave goals unwritten, oh my gosh, slap my own hand. When you leave goals unwritten, you silently declare a lack of faith in your potential success. Without clear targets, your actions become aimless, like an archer shooting blindfolded. All right? How many of us wants to be an archer shooting blindfolded? And that's what happens in any aspect of our goals. But let me tell you, one of the best goals that we can make and can affect the rest of our lives are on our health. One of my favorite scriptures, once I learned this stuff, was John chapter 3 John, verse number 2, where he tells this man, he says, above all, I want you to prosper, which doesn't mean money. It means I want you to have a good life. I want you to be happy and be in good health. And literally it translates to our word hygiene. What do we use hygiene for? When somebody got bad hygiene, there's something that's coming from them that it's not okay. Them armpits, you got an odor that's coming on with you that's just not okay. You know what I'm saying? And so literally, like, health is in scripture. It's the word hygiene in every aspect of hygiene. And now science proves that you just don't have hygiene coming from body parts. There's also a brain hygiene. How is your brain hygiene? Because bad brain hygiene will cause you to have issues of retention, which again leads to the stuff that we've been seeing more and more these days. Dementia, Alzheimer. You're going to find somebody that has bad hygiene in the brain. So every part of your body has hygiene. So again, he says, I would that you prosper and be in good hygiene as your soul prospers. We have so many people worried about the soul that we walking around after a good shout and a good praise, and we put that piece of chicken in our hand, honey. We had a good time in the Lord, and you putting grease in your body. You're putting things in your body. And I was telling somebody the other day, the more I learn, the more I realize where we're casting out the devil, he's chilling on an island somewhere with a pina colada. Like, yo, I done got them 10 steps earlier, and they talking about right now. No, all I did was put in front of them something that I know that they would like, a food that I know that they want to. I know that they're stressed out right now, so let me put this, give them, plant this seed. Like, you want that, like me, you want them Reese's Pieces, knowing I ain't supposed to have it, knowing it has artificial ingredients in it, and artificial ingredients are something that your body does not recognize. It does not digest it. And so basically you can gain more weight eating the Reese's than you can eating a whole potato, because your body doesn't understand what it is. So what it does, as intelligent as God made the body, is like, well, we've been created to process this, this, and this, but we don't know what this is. So we're going to put that here. We're going to put that here. We're going to put it somewhere. And so as you can see with some people, it starts to run out of room. So it starts to overcrowd the storage. And that's why certain areas get bigger, then our area gets bigger, because you're putting things in your body that your body does not understand. Okay. All right. Get back to the document, because I got a couple. A critical warning. Unintentional people pose the greatest risk. Okay. I need you to hear that. This is about you. If you are unintentional, this is in life in general, but again, it starts with what you do internally. Your food choices are a matter of your life choices, to be honest. So if you're not strategic in what you do with how you eat, when you eat, what time you eat, then that means you're scrambling all throughout the day, giving everybody your first and then nothing for yourself, which is why we're always depleted, all right? Unintentional people pose the greatest risk, both to themselves and others. Without clear goals, they drift through life, impacting not only their own destiny, but also influencing those around them in unpredictable ways. Okay, this is heavy, and I'll put this document inside the Facebook group. If you're not a part of the Facebook group, I know there's some people who are not doing social media for this month. Let me know if that's you, and I'll send me your email, and I'll send you over this document so you could have this for your records. But this is something that I would suggest you go back to, just to help you rejuvenate your mind. Remember, your written goals aren't just words on paper. They're your declaration of purpose and your commitment to growth. All right? Y'all with me so far? Okay. All right. This week, this will help you gain massive results in these next 10 days. This is what I'm asking you to focus on for the next 10 days. Okay? Just these 10 days, just see how it works. This is what we're literally taking this from scripture and bringing it to life. When Daniel says, so Kiana, you're not on social media, so I'm gonna send it to you. Daniel said in chapter 1, verse 12, he says, listen, like basically we don't want to do what the king is suggesting that we do, which is what y'all do, and that's why y'all look the way y'all look. What we are asking, and I know that you feel like you might get in trouble. Trust me, our God knows best. We're asking you to just give us 10 days to do what we know is best, because we already got the blueprint God gave, and 2,000 years later that science will back. But right now we're going to just trust God and believe God when he says these are the things that are the best for us in the positions that we're in. So that's what they did. So I'm asking for the same thing. Give yourself 10 days to just try these things. Doesn't mean that you don't necessarily have to go back to them, but as you become a part of this system that you're going to learn, you will learn how to use it in moderation and in windows that will lessen the spike, lessen the drama, all the lessons. Okay. So anyways, for the next 10 days, minimize sugar intake. Okay. Eat fiber every day. Make sure you're eating fiber every day. All right. And again, let me just say this. So just use the first 3 days, because I'm telling you, I've done this long enough for the last couple years to see people in 5 days get results that blew their mind. So don't try to go so hard. Just try to get ready. And you'll see there's also a food list. Get that food list prepared this weekend. And then once we get into Monday, that's when you'll get like the guidelines for the different days and how we will approach the days to really maximize our results. But this is what you have to get in mind. So start looking this stuff up. Even though you have a food list, but just so you can see even more on your own, that not just trusting me, but what these things, how beneficial this list is. Minimize sugar intake. Eat fiber every day. Eat more fermented fiber foods, okay? Which is a difference. So you have prebiotic fiber, which you'll learn, and then you have probiotic fiber, which you'll also learn. Sleep more and decrease stress as much as you can in these 10 days. As much as you can. Listen, 2025 in California alone has been a mess. It's tough. It's so tough. But you want to make sure, at least within these 10 days, and it's a good goal, a 10-day goal, which then you can give yourself another 10 days and just give yourself small increments, all right? So 10 days, just for these 10 days, do your best. And again, later on, we'll find out even science is proving how our words, and it's a proven fact, it's in scripture already, obviously, but how our words can really determine what our cells do and what they go along with. So make sure that you're speaking properly to yourself and about what's going on around you so that you can get better sleep and you can decrease stress. Don't be afraid to get a little dirty. Okay, what does that mean? That doesn't say go roll around in the dirt. What that says is don't over sanitize things. It's better for you to wash your hands with soap, but when you use hand sanitizer, this is what you're doing. You're killing good bacteria that is there to help you fight off bad bacteria. I always like to use the example of, if anybody ever watched The Walking Dead. I don't know if you guys remember that in The Walking Dead, like I think five seasons in, they figured out a way they could walk amongst the dead was put another dead person on them and then walk among the dead people, because they seemed to match the dead people, so the dead people didn't know that they were alive. So it's the same thing. Sometimes, like viruses and bacteria, it literally, it's crazy how this works, but they were spot on. When it feels that something is related, it's relatable to something, then it won't actually, how can I say that? You won't get the effects of it. You'll get sick less, basically. They've done studies on that and everything. So yeah, over sanitizing yourself can cause you to be a little bit more vulnerable to diseases and viruses and bacteria, because they see you're available, basically. I say it that way. They see that you're available, all right? Go to bed and wake up the same time every day, or close as possible. This is because, you say it this way, our bodies are not, and this is we're believers. Our bodies have not been redeemed, and we should know that. Which is why, if it was, then there would be no need for a glorified body. We would not be waiting for a new one, because this one has already been judged, and its verdict is death. However, the purpose of even doing this is to make sure that before we, even before we die, that we're able to live healthy and die on our own terms. Not living 20 years without the ability to walk, or we got to walk slow, or we don't have the energy to do anything. Okay, but of course, again, we get a glorified body because this body is deteriorating, right? But so saying that to say our bodies are still under the law of sin. We are not, as the person within us that were created. So the way that our bodies work best, because it's under the law of sin, is by it being structured. You don't necessarily have to always be structured, even though it seems like it. It's you're structuring your body to be its best so that you can use it at your best ability, at your best. Okay. Make sure your sleep is restful. Again, that goes with the stress. And as you'll see, sleep is probably it's 5 things that we're going to learn, but sleep is just as important as anything else. You could have great nutrition. You can exercise well, but if you're not getting quality sleep, you are suffering. Your body's not healing, because that's when the healing process takes place the most. So you want to make sure your sleep is restful. And if you have like a watch like me, you can actually track your sleep, and you can see, okay, this is how much deep sleep you had or not enough. And you could tell by how you feel. Anyways, keep going. Limit exposure to blue light at night, i.e. TV, phones, or walking around in stores late at night, as much as you possibly can in these 10 days, because I want you to get massive results. All right. And then after these 10 days, then, it is what it is. Hopefully you'll, keep up with some of these habits, but, try to limit. It doesn't say, because it's not realistic to discontinue them all the way, but try to limit them. All right. Stop eating no less than 3 hours to 4 hours before bed. Aim for at least 4 hours. Why? Which we're going to learn as the days progress, our bodies do not digest food late at night. And the later it is, the more we're going to have issues digesting that food, let alone when the sun is completely down and you're going to bed an hour, even 2 hours from that moment, your body is not going to digest that food. All right. Okay, so this is what we're going to try to focus on. Again, you'll get these documents for the next 10 days. These are our areas of focus. Let me tell you, this is a game changer. Like, we've had people in our community who, without even knowing how to change their diet, didn't really adjust it as much as they could have, but they did do these 5 areas of focus and lost 10 pounds in 10 days because our bodies are actually structured around this cycle, and this will work even when we eat, even when our diet's not the best. Okay, so incorporate the circadian rhythm into your day. If you've never heard of the circadian rhythm, I suggest you study it, look it up. Let me tell you, when I first heard it, I was like, that ain't true, and it took me a while to really like embrace it. But when I did, it changed my life. All right. Best times to eat, basically. This is the circadian rhythm in elementary terms. It's eating when the sun goes up. You stop eating when the sun goes down. Okay. That's the circadian rhythm. And there's other things that you'll learn about the circadian rhythm, but that's the gist of it. When the sun is out, there are certain genes that turn on. And then when the sun goes down, there's certain genes that turn on while those genes in the daytime turn off. And the daytime genes are actually the digestible genes. So that's why most people end up with acid reflux that eat late at night too much. All right. Eat within what's called a time restricted eating window. Okay. Remember this. This is very important. Even for the ones that do know this, reset and make sure you're doing this. How much time should be in between meals? No less than 4 hours. That's no less than 4 hours. It could be 4 or more, but it shows, studies show that it takes at least 4 hours for your body to digest a meal. All right. So again, if you're eating before that 4 hour mark, your body is still dealing with what you ate 4 hours ago. And then that's going to be an issue. It could be a salad. It does not matter. Your body is still dealing with what you already ate. Okay. No solids. No, you can have solids for sure. What about liquids in the smoothie? No, you can have a meal as long as it's 4 hours before bed, because here's the thing. And again, we'll talk more about this on the day that we talk about sleep. Our bodies cannot die. Like, the healing process takes place when we're asleep. And if there's food on our stomach, it prevents the healing process because it's foreign to the genes that turn on at night. So again, and even right now, when the sun goes down, it pretty much goes down between 5 and 6. So most of us are not going to bed till 10 or a little bit after that. So if your last meal, if dinner is 5 to 6 p.m., and it doesn't have to be a small meal, it doesn't have to be a smoothie. Let me tell you what's gonna happen. If it's a smoothie, you probably will get hungry. So go ahead and eat you something solid. Obviously, you don't want it to be too heavy unless you're actually hungry. But make sure, and again, this is something you're gonna learn as well, Kiana, is the types of food. There's even an order. Let me tell you, these rules are these steps are insane. It's the order you eat the food in. So prime example, you'll see if you're eating protein, especially eating it first. And one of the issues with most of us is we're protein deficient. We think, like I was talking to somebody the other day, I was like, oh, what'd you have for breakfast? Oh, I had an egg and a piece of turkey sausage. That's like 10 grams of protein. It's nothing. So if you're eating dinner 5 or 6 o'clock and you have a good amount of meat, at least 6 ounces of meat, can I drink a smoothie at 8 p.m.? I mean, again, this is not about restricting. This is about being intentional. So I would say every now and then go ahead and do it, but you'll find out why you got to be conscious of how much fruit you eat and what kind of fruits you eat. All right. Reset sleep patterns. Going to bed, going to sleep around the same time every night. We talked about that. Incorporate a balanced diet, proper food combinations. So that's the things that you guys are going to find out about. Incorporating a balanced diet. That's what makes it worth it to me, because you're able to eat certain things that most people tell you can't eat. Like, we defy the rules of I gotta be keto, I gotta be paleo, I gotta be a carnivore. No, I could be whatever I need to be as long as I'm diverse. Now, sometimes my community will tell you, sometimes it's good to be keto-like, depending on what we're going through. Sometimes it's okay to be paleo-like. Sometimes it's okay to be carnivore-like. But there's no need to have that as your actual diet, because your body will get used to that and it will shut down on you. Okay. All right. This is what I was talking about earlier. So get these statistics. The vital role of community, and that's why this is important that we are in communication. If the ones that can be in the Facebook group, you'll see some questions that I want to pose to you all. I want you guys to check out and want to talk about that through the Facebook group, so that we can be interactive. Okay, the vital role of community. Why this is important to do things like this together. Human connection isn't just beneficial; it's essential for our survival and well-being. Research. Bible talks about where there's unity, there's strength, but some of us, I guess, didn't believe it. And then research came along and showed us that strong community ties can add up to 14 years to your life expectancy, while isolation does the opposite, shortening our years and diminishing our quality of life. Many of us can say when we do feel isolated, it's not a good feeling. The science of connection. When we engage with others, our bodies release oxytocin and dopamine, powerful neurochemicals that naturally combat stress by reducing cortisol levels. And if you're around somebody who's raising them, then that's telling you that they're not community, and that's a bad connection. Y'all have seen some bad connections, some cores that are some bad connections, just like there's some bad people that are bad connections. This chemical balance promotes alkalinity in our bodies and supports overall health. Again, that's the science of connection. So if we got some bad connections and that's not the result of it, then we might have to check our surroundings. Breaking the isolation cycle. Isolation triggers a dangerous domino effect. All this is backed by science. Again, I can show you a bunch of scriptures, but and now we got the actual site to even go with it. Anxiety increases, depression deepens, and destructive behaviors may follow, but community breaks this cycle, offering support, purpose, and healing connections. All right. Okay. So how to maximize these 10 days as well. Morning sunlight. I just experienced that today, y'all. I haven't been walking in the morning because I changed my schedule around. So I've been doing my hour walk at the gym. And so, but for whatever reason, I just haven't been feeling myself. Today, I said, you know what, let me go ahead and do this morning walk. And it was like night and day, okay? Morning sunlight, and again, this is a whole other challenge I want to do for a whole other thing, to just showing the importance of what God created. Bible says in Ephesians that before the foundations of the world, before there was even a world, he said the Bible said that God already knew us. But then again, I always like to say, it's like, yet we were the last thing he created before he rested, because that's how great of a God he is. I thought of everybody on this Zoom, everybody or on this YouTube live, and everybody in the world. And what I did was created everything they needed before I put them here. And when I put them here, I rested because there was nothing, I didn't forget anything. Oh, I forgot they needed, I was about to say something. I'm glad I didn't say that. You know, certain medications or just certain things. I forgot they needed this. I forgot they needed that. No, everything that allows our body to thrive, God created before he put us here. And again, now science has proven this. The thing that I'm noticing as I'm watching science make all these different observations, while everything that you're saying is better for us, are the things that he created even further up from one. So, you know, from the sun to the sea to the land, like they're literally showing like, okay, yeah, things on the land are great. Oh, well, now we're starting to find out that seafood and things in the sea, like the sea vegetables and things like that, how much even more beneficial they are than things on land. Well, they came before the land. And then you find out that the sun, the benefits of morning sunlight and what it does to your body is even more important than the diet, the food, the seafood, everything. So it's just amazing. Anyways, morning sunlight, okay? And even if it's just 15 minutes, all right? Walk at least 30 to 60 minutes daily in the morning, 15-minute increments around the office, the house, YouTube walking videos, whatever you have to do. You get on a phone call, you just walk around the circle, like, you know, like in the house. Like all movement counts, because I don't know if you know this, but if people took out your blood vessels and they can wrap around the world 2 times. There's a lot that needs to happen within your body. You have to have circulation, and your blood cannot pump. Your heart cannot pump blood throughout your body and with the same strength, like going down to the leg, going down to the toes. It shows it cannot. And I'm sorry, I'm talking so fast because I'm trying to get through it and not hold you guys. So when you're walking and when you're drinking water, the importance of walking and water is they help with circulation. They assist the heart at getting nutrients throughout your body. So it's important that you walk as much as you possibly can. Even standing up can burn up to 200 calories by the afternoon, which is why if you guys have the fitness app on your iPhone, the iPhone will um, it'll tell you to stand up because of all these different studies that have been coming out. Anyways, y'all get that. Um, Apple cider vinegar, game changer. Okay, game changer. It fights fat storage when taken on an empty stomach, so you can take it in between meals. We're eating every 4 hours, right? So then that means you can take it within the 2 hour mark. Take a tablespoon with like take like 1 tablespoon with like 4 ounces of water between meals. But watch this. This is why I put this here out of all the things in, just so you know, the ones that don't know, ACV is a probiotic. It's one of the fermented foods. It's a probiotic. So not only does it help you to fight fat storage, it also lessens blood sugar spikes, which is proven, and blood sugar and glucose spikes when taken with food. So if you take you some apple cider vinegar with your meal, especially like some carbs, it's going to lessen the spike. Okay, you guys to get these documents. If you're, like I said, if you're in the Facebook group, or if you text me, if you're not in the Facebook group, so you can see the best times. So I can get past this, the best times to take it. All right. It's very important that you also follow these guidelines. No caffeine after 2 p.m. because it takes at least 8 hours for caffeine to get out of your system, and caffeine will disrupt your sleep. All this sleep stuff that we're talking about, you won't get it if you're drinking caffeine too late. So you want to stop it around 2 p.m. and that's only because the average person goes to bed at 10. I'm in the bed by 9, so I need to stop by 1 p.m. So it's at least 8 hours. Okay, absolutely no snacking in between meals. If you like something, have it with your meal. Train your body. Your body is it's trainable. All right. And remember, if you're eating in between meals, snacking actually causes more visceral fat. If you don't know what visceral fat is the most dangerous fat on anybody's body because it hugs and suffocates your organs. That's the fastest way to get cancer. That's the fastest way to get diabetes, especially like for men, colon cancer, all these different things are because of visceral fat. Be careful with snacking in between meals. For the next 10 days, do your best to have no alcohol or wine. Watch this. When you drink alcohol, even when you drink wine, because of the toxicity in it, it stops burning fat and it stops burning carbs so that it could deal with the alcohol. You know what I'm saying? And that's a it's a bad move when the body starts to do that. Okay, no processed food because they're not real. So your results are gonna tank. I don't care if you eat a little bit of it. Your results are gonna tank. I want when these 10 days are over, you're looking at yourself like, okay, I can't believe this really happened. This really worked, just by making these adjustments. No fruit juices or sodas. I hope you don't drink sodas anyway. And fruit juices, just drink the fruit. All right. No natural flavors, or as much as possible. Things are, it's kind of hard to get away from natural flavors only because most of the things that we eat have natural flavors in them. The dangerous part about natural flavors is that it could come from a plant, it could come from an animal, and it also can have a lot of chemicals as it's being processed. You just don't know. They're able to say natural, which again is it's broad. So do your best to avoid natural flavors. But I will say this one, stop this one for the rest of your life. No artificial flavors or sweeteners because they spike insulin actually harder than actual table sugar. They, oh my gosh, they're addictive. They're more addictive than sugar. And if I, hopefully I'll have this book out for, the devil in your diet book. I'm still trying to get some stuff finished with that. But you're able to see all the things that artificial flavors and sweeteners cause and what they're equivalent to. It's insane. You'll probably never touch them again. Okay. No fried foods. Come on, y'all. That's just a bad thing. Like reset your system. You'll never want fried foods again. I think. All right. Diversity is key. Rotate food to avoid repeating. Don't be lazy and eating the same thing because your body is no different than the person you want to date. The person you want to date or the person you want dating you does not want to go to the same restaurant every night, does not want to go to the movies every other night. They want diversity. Your body wants the same thing, or it will do just like that person. It will shut down. Avoid cooking at high temperatures. Anything over 350 destroys the nutrients in your food. It literally transforms your foods and turns it into something. Okay, so anything over 350, avoid that. All right, on the stove, cook it medium or low. Avoid microwaving food altogether. Do not mix heavy carbs with heavy fats. And there's examples there. Like I said, you'll get the document or you can rewatch this one. And again, as we get into the 10 days, I'll tell you why that's important. After all this, right? Don't focus on the calories. Focus on where the calories come from. Okay? All right. I think that's it for this one. All right. Now, is that clear? Like I said, you guys get a copy of that. I need you guys to make sure you do your best to follow that. All right? And then this is the one that matters most. This document that we're going to go over right now. And I promise you, I will go through this fast and let you all go. Is everything making sense? Let me know. Am I moving too fast? Are you guys good? There's a delay, so I don't know. 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Everybody's good? If you have any questions, you can answer them in the chat. You can ask them in the chat as well. Everything's clear so far? Clear. Perfect. Okay. This is where it gets. Oh, this is what I like. This is the part I like. All right. What is the 10-day Daniel challenge? Okay, we got the rules of engagement, and I promise this won't take long, and we'll be done. What is the 10-day Daniel challenge? All right, check this out. This is why I'm so passionate about this, and these actually are going up. So I actually kept the older ones because the older ones are, it's like a year old. And hear me when I tell you, we can read them when we get the docs. Yes, absolutely. Okay, statistics that you need to be aware of. If this doesn't make you want to make changes, I don't know what will. And again, sometimes it's hard for us as believers because we've just been taught that we can just kind of, I guess, prayer is going to change things, which it can. I'm not saying that it doesn't, but I also see a lot of church people or a lot of believers die of cancer and still get Alzheimer and still get dementia. I've even seen believers commit suicide. So at the end of the day, remember what Jesus did on the cross had to do with you getting back in right standings with a spirit, not a body. And so how we live down here in our bodies is really up to us. Okay, so you can be redeemed and be unhealthy and die of a heart attack at 40. Might I add, like just last week, I talked to a friend and their cousin at 45 had a heart attack because of the American diet. Okay, the stuff is real. The last 2 years, between 40 and 50, I've lost about 10 musician friends between 40 and 50. Okay. The stuff is serious, and again, we think we can just play, sing, and worship and not fall dead. Let's talk about, I don't know if you guys know he used to sing with Hezekiah Walker, Kirby. Kirby was a pastor. He had a heart attack and died while preaching. We heard about Marvin Winans. Most people saw that. He passed out while he was preaching. T.D. Jakes had his situation. Like, somebody else. It's a couple people, but again, we're just not taking it serious, y'all. Like, I never forget the last conference I went to, because I don't really do conferences like that. But the last conference I went to, I ran to some people I hadn't seen in a long time. Hey, how you doing? It's like 10 o'clock at night. Pastor, he's about 70 something. He got a basket of chicken fingers from the hotel restaurant, which is it's all bad, but that's even worse, okay? The oil that is cooked in and has some fries. And I'm like, yo, like, we here, we worshiping, we're telling people to come out of this, to be healed, and we are like feeding our body sicknesses and laying hands on people. Sometimes I'm wondering if some of the stuff that's going on in the church is because of who's laying hands on them, and that's not what this challenge is about. Anyways, let's go to the statistics. The United States is the sickest nation in the world, as well as the sickest nation ever in history. 60% of all Americans have at least one chronic disease. Okay, remember that. at least 60% of all Americans, 6 out of 10 people have a chronic disease. Okay, 40%, 4 out of 10 people have at least 2 chronic diseases. And usually the chronic stage is when you can become a customer to the medical world, and and they take advantage of us, and we ain't gonna heal them. We just gonna give them something that's gonna maintain them. Or, again, like my friends in their 40s and 50s pass away because we're not monitoring these things. All right. 43% of Americans are obese. Obesity is actually a chronic disease. It was governed a chronic disease maybe 2-3 years ago. 43% of Americans are obese. And again, can't really get into all the effects of being obese, but you guys, it's insane. I don't know how many men, there's not too many men on this call, but if you know some men, you let them know this too. That's why you want to be mindful of how old you are when you have too much fat on you, because fat turns testosterone into estrogen. Now, men and women need estrogen, and men and women need testosterone. You guys need testosterone, but obviously not as much as us. But when we gain weight, you guys get more estrogen, which is, I guess, in our culture is beneficial, because that's why body parts and stuff grow and everybody likes it that way. But then when you start seeing this man who starts to gain this weight, and that estrogen starts to go up, and now he has a chest bigger than yours and hanging, and that becomes a problem. That's the estrogen, okay? Estrogen, fat on a man turns testosterone into estrogen. And again, it affects their voice, it affects their body. So this stuff is very serious. It affects the mood. It's all kind of stuff that happens. And this is, again, one of my biggest burdens. 80% of black women are obese. And it's funny because when you look at what the numbers are, many of what we think is normal is obese. And what we think is obese, according to the scale, is morbidly, as they call it, morbidly obese. But we just got to really change our minds. And if our culture don't change, we have to be the change for our culture. CDC, according to them, and I only use them even though they be playing games, but since people, feel like they're the truth, this is even what they recorded. Obesity is the #1 cause of death among COVID patients. Obesity. All right. So things we got to really consider. Now, the first 5 days of the 10-day Daniel challenge, Daniel challenge is about mindset. Okay. Mindset is a fixed attitude, disposition, or mood. The idea and attitude with which a person approaches a situation, especially when these are seen as being difficult to alter. Okay, a mindset, that's a fixed attitude. That means you're stubborn. Some stubbornness is good, some is not good. Your mindset can protect you or expose you. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Your mindset can help you grow, or it can help you deteriorate. All right, your mindset can help you make the best decision you can make or the worst one you can make. Keep that in mind. Why a mindset is so important. Again, before I even got into the food, I had to change my mindset. And when I tell you, my mindset was like laser focused. All right. And this is what you have to do with yourself. It's good to have a fixed attitude, but make sure you have a fixed attitude in the right direction. Okay. Why the 10-day Daniel challenge? What Daniel knew thousands of years ago, science is just discovering today. God's blueprint for health was perfect from the start. All right. So get this stuff, y'all. This is good stuff right here. The 10-day Daniel challenge is the blueprint that God provided, proven by Daniel, and now supported by science in increasing your energy. I'm a witness. It breaks through weight plateaus, and it promotes gut healing. Okay. Important. Now, that's what you're going to find out through this whole challenge. And again, why I don't really talk about food too much online is because everything is not going to be the same for everybody. But the one thing that every health professional, whether they're keto, whether they're paleo, whatever denomination they are in the health world, the one thing that everybody agrees upon is that gut health is far above everything. It's the most important thing. And the crazy part about it is because many of us in church don't really know health well, We just look at what Daniel did and kind of add our twist to it, which we're going to find out. But when you learn health, when you learn food, when you learn what they're supposed to do, go back to scripture and read something like this. It's like, oh my God, it makes sense why Daniel and the Hebrew boys had the results that they had because of what these specific foods that they did, what that they ate, what they do. What is the 10-day Daniel challenge? Okay, here it is. The biblical foundation, Daniel 1 and 12. Please put your servants to the test for 10 days and let them give us vegetables to eat and water to drink. Okay, this is what we have to understand. I got to constantly remind myself of this so that I can continue to get these results. All right. The common translation, let us be given some vegetables to eat and water to drink, misses a crucial detail. Here's why this matters. The translation gap. The word vegetable is actually zeroim in Hebrew. This specifically refers to seeds, grains, and pulses, not just any vegetable. The distinction is vital for understanding the true Daniel protocol. All right, I'm gonna say that again. This specifically refers to seeds, grains, and pulses, not just vegetables. This distinction is vital for understanding the true Daniel protocol. Watch this. Okay, so translation. King James Version translated as the word pulse. But in the Jewish publication, yeah, I did my homework really well, right? The Jewish publication, they render it as legumes. And so we're just getting more specific. And this is why, again, you'll see why this matters. Modern translations offer broadly translated as vegetables, though this lessens the precise, though this is less precise than the original meaning. I'm sorry, y'all. Like I said, I know there was 2 documents that I was going over. This is the only day I'm going over 2. So I was just trying to get through it and not rush you guys, but then it makes me stutter over it. Anyways, here we go again. So I can make sure this is clear. Modern translation often broadly translated as vegetables, though this is less precise than the original meaning. Remember, when we substitute the precise zeroing with generic vegetables, we're not just changing words, okay? I know everybody knows there's a scripture that said that we shouldn't add or subtract from God's word. That's, where's that at? It's in the New Testament. But I think many of us know that scripture. We're not supposed to add or subtract. But what's crazy is even in something so small like this, we're literally adding, which is causing us to subtract. And so when we just look at, okay, well, we're going to do this thing that we call a Daniel fast. When Daniel didn't fast, he actually remained faithful. So when we look at vegetables, okay, so what vegetables you're going to eat, Kiana? What vegetables are you going to eat, Dave? I'm going to eat these vegetables. What vegetables you going to eat, Danielle? Lisa, what you going to eat? You know what I'm saying? We're talking about these different vegetables that we're going to eat, but we're not really getting the specifics, which, again, we're going to see on the next page. Changing the words, again, we're potentially reducing the powerful impact this dietary protocol was designed to achieve. The Bible, perfect. Everything God does, perfect. And we're seeing that in this story. What if Daniel had chosen differently? This is the risk of random selections. If Daniel had chosen only fruits, okay, listen to this. If Daniel had chosen only fruits, the outcome would have been drastically different. Excessive fruit consumption can accelerate diabetes risk even more than table sugar due to high fructose content. The rapid blood sugar spikes would have compromised his mental clarity, physical stamina, and study capacity. When in essence, remember, his results was he was 10 times smarter. According to the words in the, they use the word fairer or fatter, and we'll get more into that later. That meant that they were not only smarter, they were sharper, they look better, they look healthier. It's so many different things. The sugar, that fructose would have prevented the mental clarity, so they wouldn't have retained their physical stamina. Because watch this, this is something, check this out, and you might not ever turn into a nerd like me, but if you look at people who are doing diets, just check out the ones who eat mostly fruits, especially vegetarians or vegans. When they mainly eat fruit, even when they're losing weight, notice that their skin will sag and they'll be inflamed because of the overconsumption of fruit. Fruit is not bad. Now, of course, you got to know which fruits to eat as well. but you cannot overeat fruit, just like you can't overdo meat, you can't overdo fats, you shouldn't overdo any of these things. But that would have been the result had he just ate a bunch of fruit. Alternatively, if he had selected random vegetables without proper knowledge, he would have faced severe nutrient deficiencies, okay? And this is no shade to anybody who's a vegan, or just understand this is one of the results of if you just eat random vegetables, okay? He would have faced severe nutrient deficiencies. Without complete proteins, essential minerals, and balanced nutrients, his body would have struggled to maintain muscle mass, which the word fatter meant he was buff. He would not have been able to maintain muscle mass, energy levels, and cognitive function. So not only would he have not been able to retain, he would have been done. Like, you know what I'm saying? He just wouldn't have been all there. But turned out to be one of the smartest in the land because of his choices, all right? Breaking the deprivation mindset. And this is what we have to do. This is why this is important. You are not withholding. You are making better choices. Isn't just semantics. It's a fundamental shift in perspective that transforms your entire approach to health and spirituality, okay? A deprivation mindset feels like punishment, focus on what's missing, creates resistance, leads to rebound effects. And honestly, just from my experience, when I hear people talk about certain fasts and doing certain things, they're coming from a deprivation mindset. It actually sounds like a punishment. It sounds like they're missing something. It sounds like the resistance is being created, and many of them rebound afterwards. And again, if you don't know this, when you fast and you don't break it correct, if you fast a long time and really don't break it correct, you put your body in a worse off state than what it was before you fasted, all right? Strategic choice mindset feels like empowerment. Focus on what's gained. Creates enthusiasm. Leads to lasting changes. Again, this mindset is why, Jesus, 24 years of me working out and thinking I was healthy, could not stop plateauing, could not get a flat stomach. I was like, okay, I'm doing all this stuff. I ain't got no seasoning in my house. I'm doing everything that these people are telling me to do, that don't know what they're talking about, but I'm doing everything that they're telling me to do, but I'm not getting results. The moment I talked to God and I went on this path and start to really learn and dig into things, since 42, I'm about to be 47, I'm about to be 5 years in, I have not gained the weight back. Nowhere near, nowhere close. The most I ever gained is about 6. And then I lose it. I average about 185. I like to be at 180 because I've noticed this too. And this is another thing. Once you really get to this space, you'll notice. And again, most people are like, well, I can't tell you 190 now. I can tell because my energy already starts to tank a little bit. Then when I lose, I feel the energy coming back. I feel like when I start to gain 2 pounds, I start to feel my knee bother me just a little bit. I have supposedly bad knees. Come to find out it was actually inflammation now that I know what I know. I have a bulging disc in my back. Well, 2. When I gain the weight, I start to feel the pressure in my back. When I lose the weight, the pressure goes away. So again, this stuff, it's insane what it really does for our body, and many of the things that we thought came along with our age or because of this situation, it's just not true. It's not true. Okay, Daniel asked to eat legumes and drink water. What is legumes? Legumes are high protein, high fiber foods. Both are proven to keep off weight, inflammation, feed the gut, and provide vital nutrients, okay? That includes beans, lentils, peas, edamame. Why are these types of food choices so beneficial for our health, okay? This list contains both prebiotics and probiotics. So here's the thing. And I don't know if I said this on the next document, but I'm gonna say this right now is because I don't want you to think this is about not having any meat, or only having legumes. He ate what was best. I mean, he pretty much chose the best options that he had at that time. It was between that, because if you know the culture, if you know what was going on at this time, the majority of what they ate in this land was pork. and they drunk wine, especially in the palace in the king's house, which is funny. It's kind of what we do now. We go to these restaurants, these steakhouses, and we're drinking wine, and then we're eating, a bunch of meat, of course, seafood and everything now. But in that day, it was pork, that was classy, and it was wine. Well, here's the thing. Now, see, and I even say this difference to from then to now is they're actually raising pork with a better diet, but then pork actually ate its natural habitat. It ate trash. Because it ate trash, any animal that eat trash, they have no nutritional value. So the pig didn't have any nutritional value. The wine, it technically doesn't have any nutritional value in the long run. Both of those would have been inflammatory. No probiotics, no prebiotics, both inflammatory. This is what made Daniel better, because they ate things that did not cause inflammation. They ate things that took away inflammation. Following me? What are probiotics? Probiotics are made up of good bacteria that help keep your body healthy. All right, remember that. And you have the food list. Again, if you don't have any of the list, if you're not on Facebook, because it's in the Facebook group, I'll send it to you so you can see. I pretty much put a list of 5 in each category, the best 5. So this is what you need to understand again about probiotics. They are made of good bacteria that help keep your body healthy. They fight against disease and other bad bacteria. They're literally your army. They're your defense, okay? What is a prebiotic? A prebiotic is a non-digestible food ingredient that promotes the growth of beneficial microorganisms in the intestines. Prebiotics are the food for the probiotics. So again, something like artichokes, something like asparagus, dandelion greens, these are prebiotics because there's a part, if most of us probably never pay attention, but when you eat asparagus, it's only going to mush so much. Once you get to the stem stays stringy. After a while, it's like we get tired of chewing and we swallow it, but we never paid attention because we never knew what was happening. The reason why that's not stringy, the reason why that stays stringy and undigestible is because God created that food not for you. He created it for the probiotics. He created it for the good bacteria. So you'll get the first part of the stem you can mush up, and you'll get the vitamins from the asparagus or the vitamins from the artichoke, but then the stringy part goes down and goes through your intestines, gets to your gut, and then the probiotics, your good bacteria, eat off of that. That gives them the energy they need to go back to war. When you're not eating, so hear me when I'm saying this, why this is important. This is your mood. This is your energy. This is all kind of things. When you're not eating probiotics and when you're not eating prebiotics for the probiotics, you are lessening your defenses. They can't fight. And so it's going to be easier for you to be attacked and to deal with certain things that you should not have to deal with if you just added this into your day. Every day, a probiotic and a prebiotic, you will not get sick, or the chances will fall so short. Okay, I already went over the 5 area focuses, the 5 areas of focus in the other document. But here's your homework. This is what I want you to do. When we're setting goals, and even though this is not about the weight, I want you to set a goal because I don't want you to miss an opportunity to see these changes. So again, hopefully you're not doing it for the weight, but your weight will be affected. So look at your inches, look at your weight, check out your mobility, check out your mood, check out your energy, okay? Journal your progress, because listen, this is your life and it's important. The better you are for you, the better you are for me and everybody else. Please pay attention to your body because it talks, okay? And again, we'll talk more about that on another day, but certain things that take place. But pay attention to your joints, your energy, your sleep, your mental clarity, your emotions, because they will change. They will adjust. You're going to see the benefits of these changes when you're eating the right things. A lot of these things are going to improve. Your most significant advantage toward change is in community, all right? So make sure you're talking to people. Make sure you're sharing with people. Nobody said that the road would be easy, but he didn't bring us this far to leave us, right? So we're together in community. Find somebody for these 10 days. If it's somebody, preferably somebody who's in the community because they're on the same journey with you. But if it's not, Find somebody who will support. It's a good way to find out who's in your life too. Find out who is willing to support you and not tell you, oh girl, you all right. Oh man, you straight. You don't need to do that. Nah, that's not the people you want to talk to. Find somebody who's going to encourage you and push you and tell you, come on, you 10 days, come on, you can do what you do. Somebody's going to encourage you and somebody's going to lift you up. All right? Cool. So again, that is all for that document. So that was the rules of engagement. Here's an overview of the Daniel Challenge. It's about approaching gut health. All right. Oh, it's 6:10. Okay. But that's it. I promise we're done. Gut health. That's what it's about. We want to make sure our guts are good and we are doing what we need to do to be at a healthy state. All right. Anyways, I hope you have an amazing night. That's it for now. You check these documents. Just write your goals down. Keep your mind just focused and let's get through these 10 days. I promise you, I'm recording my results. Record your results because after the 10 days, I want to know how things are going for you. All right. Y'all have a great night. See you tomorrow.